Hey guys, this is Black7 here, and today I'll be going over our round. I guess you could say our top 8 battle, as we were going up against Bear for like to advance to this tournament in KCBL. So now, to be honest, the matchup we have here is kind of interesting because I mean, look at all these Pokemon. Like, well, maybe not some of them here, but like, if you notice, there's a common theme. Well, I'm not sure about these two, but still, like, these are very, very defensive, very stallish, very kind of like, I guess you could say even like flexible bonds that you could use in this matchup. So, and already I'm like, I wonder how Bear's gonna prep for this game since I'm honestly not so sure because or it wasn't so. So anyways, let's just go over to his team. So he has Mega Sableye, he has Clefable, Porygon 2, Tentacruel, Celebi, Ferrothorn, Doublade, Blastoise, Quagsire, Larion, Meowstic. Of course, these the last few are his lower picks, and the top are his higher picks. So yeah. So of course, right off the bat, people probably like thought this already, and that's like his regen core, or not regen core, but his very defensive core between Sableye, Clefable, and like pretty much a fat grass type, water type with the rapid spin, and maybe some kind of setup, some kind of option that could help him with that. Maybe it'd be Celebi, maybe it'd be Clefable, or even Celebi or Sableye, if that matters. So yeah. Of course, he has unaware Pokemon like Quagsire take any hit that going against it. So yeah, I'm not too sure. Like to be honest, if I were there, I'd only bring like obviously Sableye, Clefable, maybe Porygon, Tentacruel because I think Tentacruel in this game is a lot better. Um, one of the or both of these things, either Ferrothorn or Celebi, since like both of them are very defensive. One of them is only the only reason why I bring Ferrothorn is if I just bring spikes. That's about it. Or like some form of like hazards or like it's Leech Seed, spikes, Heat Wave. It could try to curse up, but then again, I haven't seen curse Ferrothorn in a while, so but I still have to kind of respect that. So then you have Doublade, which is also another setup threat, though it's thanks to like the Violite. Though I will admit, like I do have responses for this since I did see like in the last in Bear's top I think 6 game, I think he used Doublade very proficiently. Pretty much like picking apart his team, that other guy's team. So that guy I think had like three Ghost Weak Pokemon, like Sam and like Jirachi. So like Doublade was kind of a no-brainer pick. So if you'd ask me, then the other 4 Pokemon here, okay obviously I doubt that he brings these two. Then I doubt Quagsire. Then again, because Manaphy could obviously be some like Manaphy could easily overpower this thing. So and then Blastoise because Tentacruel just does the same thing but better. Hazard stacking, rapid spinning, de-spiking. So yeah. I think the one Pokemon I'm pretty much concerned with are the two. Like, or let me just say the 3 in order. Like the Fable, Porygon 2, Celebi. I think I'm not so much scared about like Magic Bounce Sableye, but it's more so like the thing is that or the fact that it has Magic Bounce itself. So I won't be able to stack them, hazard stack them with like if I were to bring let's say Quillfish. But then again, I don't think it does a game for Quillfish. So yeah. The hazards aren't really a priority. It's just mostly to remove stuff. The hazards that I may have to bring like Defog. So um, but likewise, the Fable can either be Magic Guard or Unaware. Could have like T Wave. The Fable could do a lot of crazy shit though. Like it's that one Pokemon that I really that I could I respect anyone using Clefable or like drafting it since it's always gonna do something that's gonna like, and that's the move pool to like break through like any team or be like offensive or like have like. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that this thing could just carry a team by itself, and I've used it myself in this channel, so in a different league, so basically, obviously Calm Mind comes to mind. Well, I said mine 2 times, but still, there's also Unaware, to stop like Manaphy, which I think he may bring, and also possible set is like this Sword Power, like Charge Beam Sword Power, Cosmic Power set that could actually be scary. So I gotta be very careful about that set itself. So, and then you have like Porygon 2, which is always bulky. It's gonna be bulky with the Violet. I'm not so sure if what you can do with Porygon. Obviously, oh, one last thing is that the fact that he can use any Z crystals on any of these Pokemon. Since there's technically no Z move rule, aside like certain restrictions. But that pretty much means that anything could be a Z move. Like whether it be like, let's say this, or more likely this, which I'll get into. But Porygon is like pretty much like a duct tape if you ask me. If you want to like, and I feel like this is the one game where you probably want to bring Porygon just for that duct tape. Like just probably holding off against some of my strongest attackers and whatnot. So yeah. And then you have like Tentacruel, which is like really annoying because it could probably T-spike me up. And it could also have like Haze and like all the burn stuff, and it could also be ridiculously fast. Now you might be thinking like, oh, speed is like yeah, it's 100 speed. That's not that bad, but you know it could be. This is playoffs. Like people can run like fast Tentacruel just to like hit one of my own like Pokemon, try to go for the burn and shit. So I don't know if that would be a good play, but still, that's an option they have. But either way, like Tentacruel has enough utility to merit its self usage this game. So, and lastly, we have the Celebi, which honestly, I think he has to kind of bring some sort of setup Celebi, like say Nasty Plot, Online, like stabs. Like I think because the fact that I have like like a Scizor and a Latios, I think he has to bring Dazzling Gleam, HP Fire, and something like, and one of the stabs, like either like Giga Drain or something like that. So that Manaphy or Leaf Storm. Like I could see that, but more likely do not Giga Drain. So yeah, but like maybe like, you know, like maybe like with Calm Mind or like Nasty Plot, he could try other sets. But I think Celebi has to be kind of offensive in this game. So yeah, so I think we've gone through the team. As we are gonna go through the team we're bringing, so as right here. So right now, like you pretty much noticed that we're pretty much bringing we're pretty much bringing a very offensive team with Talonflame, Crocodile, Latios, Scizor, Sylveon, and Manaphy. So let's just start off with like Talonflame since now first thing I've noticed is that his entire team is very slow. So that's really helpful. And the fact of the matter is Talonflame can probably set up on most of these Pokemon and attempt to wall break or stall break with a combination of Taunt plus Brave Bird. And like I decided to give it Fly MZ since this would give me a way to break something like Clefable, something like Tentacruel, like even Porygon 2 if it's like should it be that way. So I do admit that like Talonflame wasn't really like the primary like focus or the primary build on this team, but I did like it was probably one of my best offense. Like I probably say like the second best offensive option I had aside maybe Manaphy and like Scizor. But definitely like second. I would definitely say second because like this is technically my fastest Pokemon as you'll later see. Obviously Brave Bird Flying Spam is really hard against the Bear. and Taunt is really nice just to prevent any swarm setup. Lastly, I do have Flame Body this game because if he tries to go for like, let's say, Blade or like Ferrothorn tries to go for like attack, or Sableye tries to go for an attack on me, I could just pretty much prevent. I could get a burn on those mons, and that could just be huge. The only thing I don't like is that, of course, since this is a very defensive team, very likely I have to bring Defog since Bear is likely gonna have rocks for this matchup. So yeah. Now, so that's pretty much all I have to say about the Talonflame. So then we have like Choice Band Crocodile with Intimidate, but a little bit more investment just to like unspadef, just to take just to make sure that Porygon's download doesn't activate like special attack or doesn't raise the special attack. So yeah. I have Crunch, Earthquake, Knockoff, and Rocks. Again, I do have like there's not like I didn't really find a good moveset for Crocodile to bring aside maybe like this like Rocks. I put it there since I don't think he's gonna expect like a Choice Banded Crocodile to have Rocks. So and also like this thing is Choice Banded, so yeah. Pretty much designed to a KO stuff like Clefable, stuff like Mega Sableye, Ferrothorn, Blastoise, obviously Yoko, the Pokemon like Celebi and like Tentacruel. Celebi, I think it depends on the investment. Like it could definitely get the 2-hit KO if I go for Crunch. The reason why I went for Crunch is to possibly get any defense drops on this team because of course like given how bulky this team is, like I know that could be very problematic to like deal with. So yeah. But likewise, like none of his Pokemon, none of Bear's Pokemon want to take a combination of like dark and the ground stab. So yeah. And of course, I do have a knockoff just to remove items. Per usual, like try to confirm which mon has like maybe the Z move or whatnot. But of course, since he has Sableye, I did put Crunch there just to help me out in that situation. So, not really much to say. Like, Crocodile, like I could have put more bulk since there's like technically maybe I think the only Pokemon I wanted to outspeed is like maybe Flareon. Tentacruel is kind of weird because like I don't know what speed tier Tentacruel is going to be in. So whether it's going to be fast or whether it be like some kind of bulky-ish set. So I kind of didn't want to like risk it. But as a result, I just put a bunch of Spadef investment just to take maybe a Scald. So yeah, and then like retaliate back with Bandit Earthquake. So I do have Intimidate because like in case like the only reason why I have Intimidate is just for Crocodile, to intimidate down or lower the attack of like spawns like Doublade and Ferrothorn. Probably help me out set up on the end of those Pokemon with like Scizor. So yeah, so that's about it. So lastly, Rocks is there just because in case I can. So then we have Modest Latios, which okay, first of all, I don't know why. You know, I'm gonna have a little bit of a rant here. Like, I don't know why Showdown still doesn't update like stats for hidden powers for level 50s. Like, I know that like they already do this already with but you know like bottle caps and whatnot. But like technically speaking, you could go into a level 50s game on a Wi-Fi battle and still have like a Hidden Power Fire, like with like, or at least like, without having any like stat ramifications. That's what at least what I know from like playing VGC. But anyways, that's kind of like something. But so that basically means I'm just losing out a point or two in special attack and speed. So yeah. It's kind of annoying. I don't know how that works though, because like you're technically like okay, I'm not gonna like, go into that tangent. So yeah. But anyways, we have Life Orb Latios Sprite as we decided to get. I remember like I decided to like um give Latios a try in this game because I was originally gonna bring um Rotomo, but like I felt that like Rotomo wasn't able to break his team at all because like Rotomo just doesn't do that. So Rotomo can't really break, let's say, Latios at all. So or that can't break the stuff that like Latios can. So with Psychic, with Hidden Power Fire, just to break his like grass types and also defog. So I went for like modest Psychic just because like this thing can pretty much 2 kill like Clefable that's not Spadef. So yeah, and if it's a Spadef, then like Crooked out, Scissor would deal with it. So yeah, I'm running less speed against like possible mons like the Meowstic and the Celebi, but I think those two are going to be a little bit less bulky or less less speedy this game. So I don't know how much do they want to go for the speed tie. So yeah. Then we have Scizor, our Cranberry, which basically speaking, let me just change this like right here. Basically we have a our Mega here. Of course, this is like with light metal. Then again, this never matters. As we basically, I wanted to have another. I wanted to run Ironhead, not gonna lie, but then I realized I may need priority in case I do, since in case something like I don't know, Scarf Celebi or Scarf Tentacruel becomes a problem, which I doubt, but still, I do have Bullet Punch, and I do have for that as a result. At least does like 50% to like Clefable and knockoff just to remove like let's say items. I was thinking about going for U-turn, but I felt that was kind of dumb because I'll be in tandem with Swords Dance for once. But then again, I felt that like having to just remove items is helpful in this game than like getting chipped down by like let's say something like Rocky Helmet. So I rather just remove those like what items check whatever Pokemon or what kind of role those things are. So they have or perform. So that's why I have knockoff and obviously Sword Stance just to like power through or set up for a sweep. So yeah. Then I have here like a very interesting Sylveon set, which pretty much it's a very classic Heal Bell set, as you'll know, Cleric set. The only difference is I do have Pixelate, I do have Fake Tears, and this is pretty much like a way to break like unaware Pokemon like Clefable and unaware Clefable and unaware like Quagsire, since while it does like okay the way like unaware works is that while Clefable and like Quagsire will only take like will basically take no matter damage against like no matter what against anything that's let's say that it's, if something like Sylveon's +6 because of Calm Mind, Clefable will always like take it as if it's just non-boosted. However, this does not factor in with its defenses. Like with Clefable's own defense stats. So if you were to drop its defenses, let's say like from a Shadow Ball drop, or in this case Fake Tears, you can actually bypass this, and thus allow like Sylveon to kind of beat Clefable. So breaking through like those minus defense drops and like pretty much getting damage. So I do have Pixie Plate with Hyper Voice, Modest Nature just to like smack Mega Sableye, and also pretty much also break Porygon 2. But Fake Tears isn't really something I'd run a lot. I was thinking about bringing Calm Mind, but I figured Fake Tears is better just to prevent any Calm Mind shenanigans, any stored power shenanigans. So then allow something like Latios or Manaphy as we have here to revenge kill. So yeah. Then lastly we have Manaphy, which basically yeah, very standard. Only difference is that like it's modest nature, and it has a lot of HP investment with some Spadef, some speed. Scald just to burn stuff, Psychic just to hit Tentacruel. I was thinking about sub, but I figured that I needed something to hit Tentacruel, so alongside Latios and Crook. So yeah. And Hidden Power Fire just to hit Ferrothorn and and Celebi. So yeah. But anyways, that's about the team. It's pretty much the entire team. So I'll just get into the battle. So be right back. Alright, so we are into the battle, so I'll probably put an annotation there if you guys want to like watch it from an earlier or much earlier than usual, so that way you don't have to hear me blabber about like for like 20 minutes about the matchup. But I figured since this is like a playoff game, might as well. So yeah, we are facing off against Bear, so very interesting team he has. Pretty much what I expected, except for like he brought the other Violetmon and Doublade instead of Porygon 2. So now I'm not really so I think Doublade personally like it's a lot easier to deal with, but at the same time, if I don't if I let it set up or like get me pursuit trapped by that thing, I could be in the this could turn really badly. So yeah, so of course trying to figure out how this game's gonna go, because I'm pretty much trying to think, okay, what he's gonna lead. So like he could lead just a Sableye, just start, you know, setting up, or like just to get the Mega, or just go for the recovered. So I figured, you know what, I want to see what Sableye set maybe. So if he does lead with it, so I go with the Talonflame, but he actually leads with Tentacruel, which is kind of like interesting, because I'm like, what the because now I'm like, well, you could just go fire off a Scald or just start setting up like some T-Spikes. So I'm like, yeah, I can't afford to like keep Talonflame in here for long. So here I go into Latios as he does go for the T-Spike, and I'm like, alright, so what is he gonna do here? So unfortunately I can't really like let this T-Spike stay in the field, so I have to go for the defog. As of course I could remove like hazards, since this thing still, like, you know, Magic Bounce doesn't sort of like Magic Bounce, and no, defog is like sort of like it occurs against both the it's something that removes hazards on all sides instead of just on their side. So yeah, but yeah, the Sableye is in, and I'm like, yeah, I can't really do much to this thing, so I'm gonna go into Sylveon as he Mega Evolves and goes for the Toxic, and I'm like, alright, so that's fair play. Obviously he has to have Recover, and he has to have something to remove, like, let's say like Foul Play or Knock Off. So I'll be interested to see what other options this thing has. So yeah, he switches out, goes to Ferrothorn as I go for Fire Off a Hyper Voice, see what item this Ferrothorn has in his leftovers. So I do a good chunk to this thing, so that's really helpful. So I go for Talonflame, and I pretty much get seated. It doesn't really matter. I go hard to Scizor, but as he goes back to Sableye. So at this point I'm like, alright, so what should I do? Like, since this thing is still gonna be annoying for a while, so here I decided to switch back to Talonflame as he goes for Fake Out. And I actually get the burn, which is kind of huge. And right there is pretty much what I need, like small chip damage against this Mega Sableye. Since of course it doesn't have leftovers, but getting the burn on this thing is really can help against like setting up against a possible like foul play version set for the Sableye. Of course he can still Toxic me, so that's another thing I have to keep in mind. I do go for a Bulk Up here, just to try to start setting up and seeing what he responds with. Of course he's gonna go for the Toxic, and I'm like, alright, so I want to see how much damage I could do to this thing. So he actually switches down and goes to Tentacruel, and I go for the Brave Bird, and it does like over 68 or around 68%, which is very nice damage. So now I could pretty much go into Manaphy here, and as he goes into Sableye, I decided to save Talonflame there because I feel like of course I still have my Z move. I can still heal Wish Up with Sylveon and remove its status. So of course I could always go for like the for Tail Glow, which I do here. So I know at this point, like, I have to start breaking his team apart, so as I like his only wish passer is probably the Clefable, so I wanted to see at this point whether this Clefable is indeed like what's basically his response for like Manaphy. So here I decided to like just go for the Tail Glow as he goes for the Toxic yet again. So at this point I'm just gonna go fire off a Scald to see what I can do with it. He actually goes hard into Ferrothorn, so that kind of implies to me that he doesn't have Unaware. So that's really nice to know. And the fact that he just lets like this thing doesn't have a Occaberry means I could just knock it out with Hidden Power Fire. So yeah, I don't think he expected that since I normally run like maybe like some like more defensive Manaphy's, but this one's kind of bulky and offensive at the same time. So yeah. Of course, his toxic damage is doing a lot to me, so yeah. So out comes the Celebi, and I'm like, alright, so what this... I have a lot of switch-ins to this thing, like Scizor, Latios, and Sylveon. Or I could just stay in, take a hit. But the thing is, I'm like kind of in a weird... or kind of in a tough spot here, so... like, I kind of figured that, like, Manaphy is useful, just to be able to help against Tentacruel. So I actually just go into Latios. As he actually fires off a Giga Drain, so I go into this because obviously like Giga Drain, Hidden Power Fire, and Psychic, Earth Power. Like the only thing that would hit me super effectively is like Shadow Ball or like U-turn. So I don't mind that at all. So here I'm just gonna go for the Hidden Power Fire, and he goes into Clefable. As goes for a good chunk right there with the. Around 25 or 22% if this is leftovers. I do reveal that I am Life Orb, so yeah. Now this is a very important turn because like given the investment, I realized I could actually do like a good amount of damage and ensure that like Clefable is really low, like around the 20s or like or around that range. So I realized that there's like pretty much no reason for me not to go click Psychic. Like given the fact that he already switched to he doesn't want to risk Sableye, even though like just yet. But then again, I think he probably would switch into it. So basically I just decided, you know what, I'm just gonna go for the Psychic, see what he wants to do. Yes, there is the Dew Blade, but I still have a Hidden Power Fire just to like pretty much. I'm basically sacking my own Latios here. Like, of course, this thing could have set up rocks or whatnot, but I decided, you know what, if I could like just punish a passive play on this on his team, then this is gonna help me break the rest of his team. So yeah, I go for Psychic, does 68, and he actually goes for Calm Mind. And that's actually huge because now I could pretty much like he pretty much leaves Clefable wide open for an attack. So against any of my mons at this point. So he's pretty much forced to recover. But at this point I'm just gonna click Psychic and just knock this thing out. So I am losing HP from like I am losing HP from like a Life Orb, and it puts me dangerously in range of like against Dew Blade's attacks, so yeah. Here I actually go for Hidden Power, as I'm not so sure what he went for. As he goes for a Sword Stance, I'm like, oh. So Hidden Power Fire actually puts in a lot of work this game already, so just doing massive damage to his Steel types. But at this point, like Latios' job is done. Like, yes, he has a Sword Stance Dew Blade, but there's not really much I need for Latios for, since I can't really recover as well often. So I just stay in just because of course Pursuit, in case he went for Pursuit, and I felt that I was going to be going down. So yeah, here we go into Crocodile, and another very huge play here, or not huge play, but I guess moment of battle is I do get a defense drop, which is actually kind of helpful against the Sableye. So pretty nice to get a defense drop against this thing. So yeah. As he's very low HP now. He goes for Fake Out, as I actually stay in just to try to attack this thing. And yeah, so Like here, I actually go switch out to Sylveon because there's like one thing I needed to do, and I at first I was like thinking, okay, maybe I could like okay, it might be sound dumb for me to switch out there, but I realized two things now. One, I kind of need to heal back Talonflame to full, and also remove the status on my own Sylveon and Manaphy. Like pretty much, so since this is basically the only time I can do it at the moment, so like remove it with Wish, I pretty much heal Talonflame with Wish and get the like heal bell off. So I kind of had to go for this. Yes, it's kind of prolonging the battle. I could have like in a way, but I have it. This thing has a defense drop and it's burned and it's facing a Sylveon. So I pretty much have this thing cornered, the Sableye, and it's not sort of a calm mindset. So yeah, you can kind of confirm that. So he goes for recover, as it's pretty much his only play. But of course I go for heal bell just to recover my own Pokemon. So as well. So here I go into Talonflame, try to recover up to full, as here I'm able to get the Wish back. So I know I am dragging this game on, but I kind of need to get Talonflame in full since I can't, because I can't let Celebi do it. Like Celebi and Tentacruel are pretty much the best like options for him to win this game, and I can't let Talonflame go down for any dumb reason. So that's why I start making all these little dumb, I guess you could say dumb, or like sort of safe plays around this. So I realize now that I could pretty much set up with Sizzler at this point, and it's a much safer option because it doesn't seem like he has Toxic at all. So, or Wisp, he has only Toxic just to wear down my stuff. So as it has a defense like drop, and I'm like just gonna go for the Swords Dance here, or Bullet Punch, just to see how much damage it does. But I should have honestly went for the Swords Dance here, because this would have just like I would have been able to like beat this Tentacruel. Here I just go for knockoff just because I want to remove the item. It has Black Sludge, so and just knock it out. So here he goes to Celebi, and I'm pretty much debating what to do here because at this point Doublade's really much weakened. Sableye is kind of cornered with the burn, and he doesn't really have any options to heal it off. So I know Celebi could have heal bell, but I doubt that he has it. So on this like deep construction, so we already seen Earth Power, not Earth Power, but Giga Drain. So well, I'm not so sure what other items or what other like sort of set this Celebi has. So here I decide, you know what, I'm just gonna go for knockoff, as he actually goes for like Z or Power, I believe, because that's Tectonic Rage. That's special. So I actually go for knockoff just to do damage there, and I do switch out, go into my Talonflame since I know that at this point he does have Earth Power. So he has Giga Drain, Earth Power, Psychic, and at this point I'm just gonna go for game with Bulk Up. Of course, with the Spadef I have, I should be able to take any hit. So and at this point it's just pretty much game. Like I could just recover. This thing's already killed between like 2 Brave Birds and like whatnot. He goes for Fake Out, which I kind of don't agree with that play, because he should have just let me attack and hope that that was a roll. But the fact that the burn, he went for Fake Out there, meant that I could just get an extra chip damage from burn and ensure the roll into my favor. So yeah, here I just go for like I just pretty much go for like Z Brave Bird, because at this point I know that like Doublade probably dies to it, or from the range it's at, and Celebi just dies. So last thing I go for is he goes for a taunt, or I go for taunt because like I don't want this thing setting up. So yeah, so I'm just gonna go with the Manaphy and just ensure this game is in my favor. So yeah, I still have Crocodile, I still have like Sylveon, I still have Sizzler in the back. So yeah, so yeah, that's gonna be GG to Bear, as we advance to semifinals in KCBL once again. So so thinking about this game, I think I had this game like around like about now like over like 2 weeks ago. But like the fact of the matter is this was pretty like tense given the fact of how like it played out and shit. So wait, I wonder if it was exactly 2 weeks. No, it's actually a week. Wow, I actually battled him like wow, that was actually kind of surprising. So um I was just thinking about like some stuff right there, but anyways, um so basically we beat Bear. So it's like thinking about the battle, like the aftermath. I definitely think Latios put in a lot of work this game, being able to get like the two like pretty much predicting the Clefable to go for like a sort of be somewhat passive at least and not go for mid blast. I felt that going for Psychic was my best play there, just to see how much damage or how much what that thing's gonna do, whether it's gonna wish or whether it's just gonna attack me with Moonblast. But I figured trading Gladios for Clefable at that point was like pretty much huge for that game. And not only just worked out in my favor, but I was able to like weaken Doublade as well. And Doublade might have been a problem, but of course I still had Crocodile, I still Scizor with knockoff, and also Manaphy with potential Scald. So yeah, and Talonflame that could burn. So anything in that general. So I think like pretty much that. I think that was the one thing that just ensured the game was in our favor, since Talonflame just put in a lot of work, just being able to kill like the Celebi. I think it killed the Sableye, and I believe Manaphy got like I'd say like 2 kills. Like I know. Okay, Scizor definitely killed the Tentacruel. Lottie killed the Clefable. Talonflame killed the Sableye and Celebi, and I think Manaphy was able to break the Steel type, still with Latios' help. So Latios and Manaphy were able to wall break his team, and then Talonflame just cleaned up as per usual. So, and Scizor was able to sort of like pick off some stuff here and there. So that was helpful. So yeah. Anyways, this game was pretty interesting. That's it. I'm not so sure what Bears could have brought in this game. Like, I think the matchup was definitely in my favor, since like I did have a very offensive team, like compared to his, and the fact that like he had only a couple offensive responses, so I think he was forced to sort of dig in, or with like his best defensive Pokemon, of course Sableye, Ferrothorn, Clefable, and I probably would have done the same. So also Celebi as well. So I think the Doublade was kind of like an interesting call. Like I'm not so sure what set that was out, of course, aside being Sword Dance, but if he did have Pursuit, then I pretty much stand by that play. To stay in, because obviously I don't want that thing like setting up for free. I just need to get damage on it, and it, of course, doing like 74%. I think I did 74%, and that pretty much ensured that like that was in within range of anything on my team. So like knockoff from Scizor, Earthquake, Crocodile, and I pretty much had enough to win there. So, and at the very end, like, yes, I know I kind of dragged it out, but I know I dragged it out there, but I realized that like he was gonna try to sack Sableye, and I had to kind of recover everyone up, like Sylveon, Manaphy, the Talonflame. I gotta remove the Toxic, like, because of course those things are just gonna wear me down really hard. So yeah, and I kind of had to ensure that like if he's gonna like, I'd rather not have Talonflame. I'd rather have Talonflame for the Celebi and the Tentacruel, like sort of like revenge kill everything else at the very end. So yeah, as well as like keep like sort of a healthy Manaphy for like Doublade, since I still have my Berry, and also for Tentacruel as well. So yeah, it was not because I was trying to be like kind of a dick or anything, but like I tried to ensure that I had more outs than him. Anyways, that's gonna be the game for this game. So the next round we're gonna be up against Nightmare 205. So I think I was either gonna battle him or Jake, and both of those opponents are very, very strong, by the way. And I haven't really battled Nightmare at all, but I've heard that he's really, really strong as a battler and as a like sort of like in terms of like battling, in terms of like playing very defensively. So I think he's gonna give me a run for my money. And Jake, that battle against him and Jake was like very interesting. So definitely something to watch over, since I think Jake just made a lot of offensive plays, only for like Likeable to like just sweep him. So, but I don't. That's not that like he had anything like there, like anything for that mon. But anyway, it's just that it just overwhelmed it. So his team. So yeah. So it's gonna be me versus Vikavolt, or I don't know. There's already a lot of Age-Ride references this game, like Taunt, Doublade, and Vikavolt. So there I said it. So anyways, I'm gonna be out of here. So all right, see ya.